Good morning, friends. Today I want to find out if I can beat my personal best smallmouth bass at Rockport, and along the way bring home a stringer of perch for lunch for Cookie and Buckwheat. Let's go find out. So cinch that saddle down tight, hop in the pirate boat, let's go on a fishing adventure. For this particular adventure, I've decided to hike into this bay back here. It's not a place that I go to very often. It takes a little bit of a hike up and down a hill to get into it, but I'm hopeful that not as many people have hit it. Maybe some bigger smallmouth and a decent little batch of perch in here. Look back up there, you can kind of see how steep that is. I'm coming down. It's not a real long drop off of there, but it's a dang steep one. This will be a fun one to climb back up out of. Let me turn this camera around and show you where we're headed. That's where we're going. Down the rest of this trail through this oak and juniper into this back bay. We're going to fish that face over there, and then weeds. I can see some fish moving around there, probably some carp. I can see some good rocky substrate down in there, especially over there. Good smallmouth country, and there ought to be a lot of perch up in there. Ought to be great. And just me today. Cookie, she's gonna have surgery in a couple of days, and didn't really feel like getting out and bushwhacking on this little trip. All right, I'm down at the bottom, really shallow here, so I'm gonna work my way around this other side, fish that other side up a bit, and then come back and fish the other side. And well, I'm seeing all kinds of crawdad parts on the shore here. That's good news for smallmouth bass. There's our first one, little smallmouth bass. I knew there'd be smallmouth up in here for sure, and yeah, there's confirmation, but we got to find a little bit bigger than that to beat my personal best. I like a lot bigger than that, but that's a good start. We'll take him. There's a perch. So there's our two target species anyway, a smallmouth and a perch. He took the little magnet up on top, but again, that's pretty small, definitely not what we're looking for. All right, today I'm just running a real simple drop shot rig. I've got a little, about a 1/16 ounce jig head with a little power bait creature plastic on there on the bottom end of it, and then up about 8 inches I've got a small VCR drop shot hook, and I've just got a little worm magnet on there right now, just doing a little exploring. I've got just a handful of other plastics in there and some different jig heads and a few marabouls, but yeah, we're picking them up right away with this little setup, so it's good enough to do the exploring. So far pretty small. Got to find bigger ones than that if I'm going to beat my personal best and get the stringer full though. That was a really tiny little smallmouth. Continue moving around this cove a bit, up in the shallows in the brush. Thousands and thousands of little perch, but not what I'm looking for lunch, and the bass weren't that big either, so got him. There we go. That feels a little better, maybe. Nope, still pretty small perch. Moving to a little bit deeper section. See how this turns out. And another one. They're just too small in this cove. They're up in here sheltering away from predators, but no biggins. So we fished all the way up to that point, found deeper water, but still just small perch and smallmouth. Nothing over about 4, maybe 5 inches. Definitely not on target to hit my personal best today on smallmouth, and haven't put one on the stringer yet big enough to fillet, so we're gonna move around to the other side of this cove. It gets rocky quick. Work up along there and fish what we can along that shelf, and then work around the point and slowly start working our way back to the truck, and hopefully we find some schools of something that's a little bit bigger than that. I may have done it. I may have caught my personal best smallmouth. Let me see if I can get him up here close to the camera. Yeah, there he is. That's what I've been getting all day, or all morning, I guess, is these 4-inch smallmouth and perch. All right, so I fished pretty seriously all along that shore over there. And as far as I could walk up this next face here, hundreds and hundreds of small perch and smallmouth. Great news for the future population, but not for my dinner table or my personal best. So I'm working my way out of the cove to the point. We'll work some of the faces around here that I'm a little more familiar with, see if I can find them there. Okay, so I'm right up on the point going in there, and I'm encouraged. On my first cast, I saw a few bigger perch following in, so I'm going to switch back over to my perch rig. Got him. Little smallmouth, not the big one, but it got one. Dang it all. That's a big bass and the knot failed. That's all my fault. That was a dandy. Shoot. Man, I'm just sick to my stomach. That was a good fish. I don't know if it had been a personal best, but it had been a really good fish for Rockport. And man, the second I saw that, I knew that that knot had failed on me. Dang it all. About had her done there, I think. It'd been close. Keep going. We're still getting small ones, but that was my first good one. Yeah, so I've just spent the last hour and a half hunting for this GoPro I'm filming on, where it slipped out of my holder and went in some rocks, and holy cow, it was only about 50 yards from where I realized I'd lost it, but I was back and forth 4 or 5 times trying to find it. Thankfully, I did finally find it, but I've sure lost a lot of the good fishing time now. The ski boats are out and really starting to wave and muddy up the shores, but so I'm going to just fish my way back to the truck, and hopefully that big old bass is somewhere in the next 400 or 500 yards of shoreline. Give her a go. Well, unfortunately, the wind has picked up, making it tough to jig. The boats have picked up, making the shores pretty murky, and the fish have kind of went down, and even the little tiny ones aren't chasing me anymore. They went down too, which tells me it's time for lunch, which unfortunately means I did not break my personal best, and I'm not going home with a stringer of perch. I wasn't going to take a bunch of 4-inch ones home and fillet. So I guess I'm going to have to bring something home for dinner, for lunch. Hey, you know what? You know what my bride always says, no matter what your struggles are, there's always something beautiful in the day. It was a beautiful day to fish, but it's time to turn it over to the skiers and the paddle boarders and the beach goers and let them have their fun. We'll see you next time on another adventure.